Excuse me, everyone. Good morning to all of you. Kindly settle down. We will be starting in next 2 to 3 minutes. Thank you. स्टार्ट करो की
Good morning, everyone. I am Jyoti,
I am Abhishek.
your host for today. We welcome you all to the second edition of I am Nagpur Case and Research Conference 2026 in collaboration with IB Publishing, centered around the theme Advancing Business Transformation Through Cases and Research.
Established in 2015 as a new generation IIM Nagpur has always been committed to fostering excellence in teaching, research, and learning. IIM Nagpur started the Case Research Center in 2025 to become a leading hub for case research and publication, with a global perspective rooted in Indian context, fostering academic excellence and practical business insights. This conference, in collaboration with IB Publishing, a global leader in case development and publishing, is a testimony to our shared mission of advancing case based pedagogy to nurture the next generation of leaders and educators. The conference serves as a platform for research scholars and industry experts to share their latest case drafts for possible inputs and feedback in various fields. Being held in hybrid mode over 2 days, it features case study presentations from diverse case authors and participants.
We are deeply honored to have with us world renowned academicians, established knowledge experts, and prominent industry practitioners to deliver insightful speeches and present innovative research ideas throughout this event. I welcome all of you to this conference, which promises immense knowledge and networking. Now, I would like to request Professor Bhim Rai Matri sir, Conference Patron and Director of IIM Nagpur, and our Chief Guest, Mr. K.S. Chima, Founder and Chairman of K.S. Chima Group of Companies, to join us on the dais. With a big round of applause, please. I also invite Professor Rakesh Gupta, Conference Chair, and Professor Prashant Gupta, Conference Co-Chair, and Professor Yatish Joshi, Conference Co-Chair, to join us on the dais.
Welcome, sir. We now invite our esteemed guest to join us in a special tradition, illumination of the lamp, symbolizing knowledge, enlightenment, and positivity. With this, we shall also worship Ma Saraswati, the goddess of knowledge, and seek her blessings as the embodiment of knowledge, wisdom, and creativity. Sir, I request all the dignitaries for the illumination of the lamp. May I also request one or two participants to kindly join for the illumination of the lamp.
तुषारहार धवला या शुभ्रवस्त्रामृता या वीणावर दण्डमण्डितकरा या श्वेतपद्मासना या ब्रह्माच्युत शङ्कर प्रभृतिभिः देवैः सदा वन्दिता सा मां पातु सरस्वती भगवती निशेष जाड्यापहा.
Once again, I extend a very warm welcome to all the dignitaries on the dais. Now I request Professor Bhimra Mitri sir to welcome and felicitate our chief guest, Mr. K.S. Chima. Welcome to the conference, sir. Now I request Professor Yatish Joshi to felicitate our director, Professor Bhimra Mitri sir. Welcome to the conference, sir.
Thank you, sir. Now I would like to introduce Professor Rakesh Gupta, Conference Chair and Professor in the area of Strategy and Entrepreneurship at IIM Nagpur. He has had PhD in Strategic Entrepreneurship from the Faculty of Management Studies, Delhi University, and moved to academics after a stint of 8 years in industry. He is passionate and prolific case writer and loves to teach through cases. Some of his cases have won awards, including the Best Case Award at ISB Hyderabad. He has attended many faculty development programs, including participant centered learning by Harvard Business School, International Teaching Program at Kellogg's School of Management, Symposium for Entrepreneurship Educators at Babson College. He has been trained in the field of design thinking from Stanford University. Sir, I request you to kindly briefly introduce the second edition of IIM Nagpur Case and Research Conference to the gathering.
Yeah, a very good morning to all of you. Dignitaries on the dais, Honorable Director Professor Bhimra Mitri, Chief Guest Mr. K.S. Chima ji, Dean Academics Professor Prashant Gupta, and co-chair of the conference, Professor Yatish, my faculty colleagues, and all the participants coming from all across the country and outside, those who are present here, as well as those who are joining online. This is the second edition of the conference. We started last year only, but the response we have got in these 2 years and this year, it gives us immense pride as well as satisfaction to share with you. This conference as well as case workshop spanning 3 days started from yesterday. This year we got close to 1,000 submissions. So finally, we accepted and 663 participants have registered. There are a lot of faculty colleagues which have registered, a lot of research scholars which have registered, and a lot of MBA students also which have shown interest. In the case workshop which we did yesterday, there were more than 100 participants, online and offline. There are close to 40 participants who have registered from across the globe. There are 10 academic partners who have also contributed immensely to this conference and the workshop also. Some of you who were there, I recall the faces who were yesterday also. We had 4 technical sessions covering various aspects of case writing and case teaching. So most of you would have enjoyed the sessions. So we have submissions coming from all IIMs in the country this time. There are a lot of private institutions which have also prominent ones who have contributed. 12 IITs we have received nominations from, NITs, and when we talk about international submissions, we have got from North America, we have got submissions from Europe, a lot of submissions and registrations from Gulf, as well as many different countries. So this is briefly a reflection of the kind of response we have got even in the second edition of the conference. That also gives us a lot of thought as well as that lot needs to be done. And probably going in future, I will say probably we will stay true to this, and next year we will try to take bigger heights. This year, My apologies to some of the online participants because of some accommodation constraints and infrastructure shortage. We have to request many participants to shift to online mode. Maybe next year we will be in a better position to host them also. So this is briefly about the conference as well as the workshop. Workshop resource persons, I also like to announce and thank all of them. The workshop started yesterday with Professor Sandeep Puri from AIM Manila. He gave the tips in terms of writing the cases, how to get it published. This was followed by a session from Chandan Chaudhary, Professor Chandan Chaudhary from ISB, who talked and stressed a lot of how to use AI while delivering cases in the classroom. The afternoon session was shepherded by Professor Saral from IIM Ahmedabad, who talked about how to write a good teaching case and how to use that case in the classroom setting. And the workshop closed with a session from Director Ivy Publishing, Ms. Violeta Gelahar. She stressed on two aspects, probably publication opportunities and how to leverage publication opportunities with Ivy Publishing, as well as the contemporary issue of how to use and not use AI while case writing. So this was the backdrop of the workshop yesterday. Today, we have total of, in these 2 days in the conference, 98 tracks running. The first 14 tracks have started in the morning, and post this inauguration, we will continue in the same way. So this is all possible because of the direction and support provided by Professor Maitri and all the participants who have really reposed their faith and trust in IIM Nagpur and the budding IIM Nagpur Case Research Center. Thank you. Thank you all, and welcome again.
Thank you, sir, for giving us an overview of the conference, which promises us to be a scintillating experience.
Now it is my honor to introduce Dr. Prashant Gupta, Conference Co-Chair and Dean of Academics and Professor in Finance area at IIM Nagpur. He has shouldered many administrative responsibilities such as Dean School of Management, Dean Student Affairs, Chairman Admissions, Program Chair of PG programs at different institutions. His more than 25 years of experience is a blend of industry and academics. Dr. Gupta has also organized international training programs and trained more than 1,000 foreign government and private sector executives of around 55 countries, which were sponsored by Ministry of External Affairs, Government of India. He is also a trained faculty member by Ivy Business School, Canada, and International Finance Corporation, a World Bank Group company, USA, on corporate governance. Sir, I request Professor Dr. Prashant Gupta to address the gathering and briefly introduce the Case Research Center of IIM Nagpur.
Very good morning to all of you. Honorable Chief Guest, Shri Chimaji, whose support, guidance we always get. We're very thankful for that. And you spare time, sir, and come here despite very short notice, because I was sharing him. We were not thinking that it will take that a big shape. So hurriedly planned inaugural this way. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Our very dynamic director, Professor Maitri, under whose able guidance, mentorship, institute is striding fast, and we all are working together for that. My dear colleagues and co-conference chair, Professor Rakesh Gupta, who is heading the case center also, and Professor Yatish Joshi-ji, my all faculty colleagues present here, and all the participants coming from various institutes. As Professor Rakesh has already told, the response is tremendous, and we have representatives from almost all top B schools in country and some of the schools across the globe. Very good morning once again, and I welcome you all on behalf of the institute, on behalf of the director, for this 2 days conference. About the conference in the beginning is already told, so I'll not go into the details of the conference. As the mandate is given, I would be brief and short about the case center and brief journey of the IIM Nagpur. So I'll start with the journey of IIM Nagpur, and then I'll briefly talk about the case center. 2015, we started a humble beginning of IIM Nagpur happened, and that time, obviously, this campus was not there. So we were housed at NIT Nagpur's campus. 2021, we shifted to this campus, and we have completed 4 years in this new campus. So started with the flagship MBA program with 55 students, and now our intake is 340. In the journey, when we shifted here, we also started executive MBA program here at Nagpur. That's basically a weekend program, but face-to-face program. Then we also started eventually another executive MBA program by setting up a satellite campus at Pune. So now we are running executive education MBA, executive MBA, both at Pune as well as Nagpur. Then we started the full-time PhD program. And then 3 years back, we also started executive PhD program for the working professionals. So that's how the portfolio of activities in terms of academic program goes on. And this year, we have initiated 2 more programs. So we have already launched one online MBA program that is specialized in energy management. That is in collaboration with NPTI, that's a National Power Training Institute. It is the apex training institute of Government of India in power and energy sector. So that program is already launched. Another program, what we call blended MBA, it's also an online where we have 4 campus visits, and program is across world, anyone can join, and we have participants. Some of the participants are out of India also. Forthcoming, we have 2 more ambitious projects in hand, and we expect in the coming year, we would be launching that. So one is specialized, again, executive MBA, online MBA program. We are in touch and at a very advanced stage with Taj Group of Hotels and ESAC Business School. So we would be launching one program on hospitality management. Similarly, AIMS Nagpur is also very keen. We had already launched advanced healthcare program, that is a certification program, and looking at the great success of the program, AIMS is very keen. So we would be working out because we'll have to work out in terms of availability of resources. So probably we would be launching MBA in hospital or rather healthcare management very soon in collaboration with AIMS Nagpur. So this is what we have done, and we are adjudged as one of the fastest growing B school in India, and among the IIM's ministry has recognized us. And as we say, B schools, so our Chima sir is also here. If we talk about our growth rate, so in last 5-6 years, we have grown by 40% CAGR annually, which is phenomenal. And that makes us one of the fastest growing B school, not in terms of revenue, not in terms of programs, not in terms of student, but also in rankings, we have done fairly well. And in the last latest NIRF ranking, we were ranked 25. Reaching to top 25 is great, but what gives us more pleasure or more good feeling is that we are the youngest among that 25 institution list. Rest 24 institutions, if you take the average age, their average is coming around 35 years, and we are just 10 years. We are completed 10 years this year. So that is one. And then apart from these programs, we also started in a big way for executive education. So 3.5 years back, again, Professor Matri conceived, and then we started into executive education. Their growth has been phenomenal. Last year, we were ranked 10th. All over India, we were ranked 10th, and we were shouldering with Ahmedabad, Bangalore, ISB, Hyderabad, Kozhikode, Indore. This year, I'm happy to announce that we are ranked 7th all over India. And in executive education, this year we are ranked higher than IIM Indore. So that has all happened in the last 3.5 years, and that's one area where being a business school, we want to focus, because when we say business school, then our connection with industry should be there. And we are trying our best to do that. At the case center, if I talk about that, it's again a very nascent or the new initiative. 2 years back, we started the case center. So our relationship started with Ivy Publishing. And when we set up the case center after IIM Ahmedabad and after IIM Bangalore, we were the third IIM to set up case center with Ivy. IIM Kolkata followed by that. So IIM Kolkata set up their Ivy case center after us. As Professor Rakesh has already told, last year we organized the first edition of this case conference. And this year, this is the second case conference. But between first and second year, the difference is now we are not alone. We have 10 more institutions who have partnered with us, and they have become the member of our case center. So, and all prestigious institutions, private, and so we have Munje Institute at Nasik, Lal Bahadur Shastri Institute at Delhi, IMI Kolkata, 4 Institute of Management, Delhi. We have IMT Nagpur, Sanjeevani Institution and Amrit Wahani Institution, ILM Gurgaon, IMS Ghaziabad, and SD Business School Chandigarh. These all are the partner institutions. So between first to second edition, this is new edition with us. So when Professor Rakesh was talking about the registration, 660 registrations, this is the direct registration. If I add our partner institutions registration, then it goes to more than 800 because 150 participants from these partner institutions are also there. So almost 1,000 submissions and more than 800 registrations. That just in second year it has happened, and it's not possible without the support of you all. So I thank all the institutions, all the participants to make it such a big event. So from my side, the mandate is over. So I'll also close my remarks. But all those who are living in the campus, explore the campus in the mornings and evenings, and those who are not living in campus, coming from outside, please enjoy, visit the places. Campus is actually worth seeing. So thank you all. Thanks.
Thank you, sir, for introducing about the Case Research Center and also briefing about the inspiring journey of IIM Nagpur.
Now it is my honor to introduce Professor Bhimrai Matri, Conference Patron and Director of IIM Nagpur. Professor Matri is a distinguished academician, renowned teacher, researcher, and an astute administrator. An outstanding leader of management education, he has held prominent roles at esteemed institutions and corporations in his remarkable career. Professor Matri is the former director of IIM Trichy. Under his dynamic leadership, IIM Trichy has catapulted among the league of top business schools in India. He has also contributed immensely as Dean at L&T Institute of Project Management, Vadodara, IMI New Delhi, MDI Gurgaon, and leading research programs at BITS Pilani. A recipient of prestigious awards like the Ravi J. Mathai National Fellow Award, Professor Matri is a mentor and builder of institutions, making an indelible mark on education and society. Sir, with great honor and respect, we request you to kindly address the gathering.
Very good morning. Today's chief guest, respected chief guest, Sri K.S. Chimaji, Chairman and Managing Director, K.S. Chima Group of Companies. He is a dear friend of IIM Nagpur. And also he has instituted scholarship, a student coming from rural background and taking admission to IIM Nagpur, that selected students will get 10 lakh rupees every year for the education. That is a contribution of Chima Saab and my colleague Professor Rakesh Gupta, Chairperson of the IIM Nagpur Case Research Center, Professor Prashant Gupta, Dean Academics and Faculty, Professor Yatish, Chairperson Media, all the distinguished participants coming from different part of the country, my faculty colleagues, research scholars, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I welcome all of you, the second edition of this case research conference. I think this case research conference happening here at IIM Nagpur, it is something unique than many case research conference happens in different places, but IIM Nagpur decided to organize it differently than what happens in other places. So probably Professor Rakesh and Prashant, they already briefly told about you. It is not we are organizing this conference with our partner institutions. So all together, we can raise the bar for management education in the country. So that is the first uniqueness we created. So doing alone is different, and working together, doing together and growing together is the one aspect IIM Nagpur decided to do differently. And the second part, this case conference, since it is in association with Ivy League, IIM Nagpur would like that all our faculty members should publish cases and from India to the world. It is the right time because India not only youth nation, but being a leading economy in the world, entire world is looking towards India, and India is going to be there as a young nation up to 2055, 56. So 21st century belongs to India. So therefore, now earlier we used to appreciate many institutions in the western part of the world. So earlier, even we all studied, we all did the education, West is best. Probably professor referring foreign author book used to be considered as a good professor. So those days have gone now. Now West is no more best. And now the time has come, India is the best. So therefore, writing cases, our cases should be referred, Indian cases should be referred all over the world. So I'm just coming yesterday evening from Vienna, a cultural capital of Europe. Probably you all know that Europe today is living in the history. They are no more creating history, they are living in history. America is the one, it is the biggest supporter of India to be Atmanirbhar Bharat. I think probably we are not taking that much effort, but America is making. So it is a great initiative of America to make India as a nation. Entire world should look towards India as a leader because, crises are the best friends of innovation. You all agree. So it is the right time that America is raising the right issue, and particularly India is the one of the biggest gainer from this conflict and crisis and even geopolitical equations. Probably till now, geopolitics was not a part of any business school, but here onwards, geopolitics is going to be one of the important subject. We already started for business schools, and also many cases may come in this subject in coming years. So therefore, as a country, we are a young nation, 1.4 billion, and young nation today, and also the population, these two together, probably it represent a global capital of big data. So big data comes from India, not from any other part of the world. So entire world is looking towards India for machine learning and AI ML. Today AI is creating a noise. And I'm sure we are all with AI. Otherwise, if you are not associating with AI, AI will throw all of us out of the market. So we have to learn AI, then we need not to worry about AI. And we need not to be expert of AI, but what AI can do, what AI can't do, that learning is important. So therefore, in this context, India already, Government of India under the able leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister, 60,000 crore rupees have been already allocated Anusandhan National Research Foundation, and that amount is with the Department of Science and Technology under the Anusandhan, and that fund is basically for R&D, multidisciplinary research and development, and also defense, space, and various sectors, including railway. Many are now opened for the private sectors. So in this context, there is going to be a lot of great ecosystem for research and development. And at the same time, Government of India, national education policy coming in, experiential learning is going to play a very, very important role, because the moment students will graduate, probably something new might have come like AI. Today, AI has come few years back. Probably something else will come that may replace something else. So in this kind of dynamic, uncertain, fluid world, it is extremely important how to learn through phenomena-based learning, PBL, or phenomena-based learnings. Finland is one of a nation, they are the earlier adopter of PBL. I think in national education policy, we call it as experiential learning, skill-based learning, and also creating a scenario and learning, that is a case-based learning, is also a kind of experiential learning, and real life projects. So all those things are basically going to make a difference, because experiential learning basically build the confidence, build the courage, what can work and what can't work. And gamification is another one area. Probably you can test the students through decision making, how to build the confidence, and also how to prepare the people for good decision making. And good decision making happens through what? Good decision making happens through experience, and experience comes by doing mistakes, and by making wrong decision or incorrect decision, we double our experience and we sharpen our decision making process. So therefore, gamification is another area. I think also cases and gamification, how to combine, how to work on that, probably I think we all need to think. We should not blindly follow Harvard has brought the cases and we should also doing the cases. I think that is not the right spirit and right way of doing. And these all things happened accidentally. Probably Harvard was not having a dean. One law person was given a charge as a dean of the Harvard Business School, and that is how he brought the cases, concept of cases to Harvard, and now we are all talking about cases. So therefore, because of the crisis, the case entered into business school in Harvard. So same way, I think if there are no crisis, we should create a crisis. We should think differently. We should think out of box. How to combine cases and games. And today, a lot of online games are there, physical games are there. And probably today in the examination, we never test the courage of the student. We never test the confidence of the student. We never test the decision-making process of the student. What we conduct the evaluation, I think they are all Stone Age evaluation till today. Maybe some continuous evaluation, all we talk about. But in business school, we should be talking about how courageous the boy and girl is, how confident, and how to learn by doing mistake. In games, out of 10 games, maybe a team A might have lost first 2 games, but remaining 8 games, team A will continuously win, and team B only won the 2 and later on continuously lost. It means initially B has done the great beginning, winning 2 rounds, but remaining 8 rounds B has lost, but A won. Why A won? Because as a team, they decided what we are doing first round and second round, it is not going to work out. We change our strategy. They change the strategy and they work out, and probably the changing the strategy became a game changer for a team, winning the remaining 8 rounds. So how to sharpen your decision making, how to learn by doing mistake, you can physically see when teams are working in against each other or in a rounds, in a game or in a competition. So this is how now the time has come how we have to look at the evaluation of the student, not only a paper and pen. We should also see instantaneously. Today, we are talking about, production, transportation, consumption, all happens at a time in operation. We talk about some of the services. So it is produced and it is immediately consumed, produced and distributed and consumed within no time. So can you do in our education system, students will be learning and they will be evaluated and they will be graded on the spot. You need not to wait for 6 months, but throughout the term, throughout the whatever the semester you do, can you think of something different? Because now it is our time to think, our time to create a history. Now India is going to create a history and we all have to be a part of it. Because till now we are learning from the West. Now it is a time entire world would learn from India. You know that when Japan was the youngest nation in 65, after 15 years, means 1980 to 95, Japan ruled the world as a super economy. And the entire world started teaching Japanese management or quality management, whatever you call, even though you call quality management, all portion content will be a Japanese management. Born in Japan, and till today, now Japan is no more super economy. Japan is an aging nation, 49 average age, and they are in crisis. They are looking towards India for young talent, young manpower to maintain their economy to survival. But till date, we talk about a Japanese people management. Japanese management is all about people management, and people management means Japan was not having any resources, raw material to produce. They were not having, and there was no market to sell the produced items. But Japan used to get all the raw material outside Japan. They used to produce in Japan and sell again outside Japan. They captured the car market, the original car manufacturer, Ford, all those companies, General Motor, and they have captured the car market, electronic market, Sony, whatever you talk about. So that was the super economy of Japan. Now it is our time to create a history like Japan. China was the youngest nation, 2000, use and throw Chinese product, all we said, and today, till date, we don't live without Chinese product. Some of the things China decided to not to give, because when COVID happened, before COVID, my friend who runs the factory in Bosri, Pune, my classmate, is a B.Farm. So before COVID, when COVID started, his factory stopped working. I said, why it is not working? He said, our raw material comes from China. We are totally dependent on China because 2000, it was youngest nation and its impact is till 2020. Now India, 2005, India announced as a youngest nation. Now already 15 years have been, 2005 to 20 onwards, now India is going to rule the entire world as a super economy. And you might have seen 5 trillion, we are looking next year when the 5 trillion will come very soon. Next year, even though IMF predicted 27, 28, but India is going to make IMF estimation wrong and it is going to be their 5 trillion and third biggest economy in the world next year. And there onwards, probably you all know that we started small beginning 2047. After India getting freedom, we took 60 years to make 1 trillion. 2007, we made 1 trillion. 2014, we made 2 trillion. 2020, we made 3 trillion. 2025, we are there 4.25 trillion. And next year, we are going to touch 5 trillion. When our Ministry of Commerce announced 2018, India is going to be 5 trillion economy, many citizens of India were not at all believing it is a false promise. And nobody was believing how can India will achieve so much of trillion. But today, we all, those who made a statement, there was a lot of discussion, lot of space occupied in newspaper on 5 trillion 2018 when white paper was removed, white paper was released by the Ministry of Commerce. But today, everybody has a confidence, and even we are saying IMF estimation can go wrong, but India cannot go wrong. We are going to be 5 trillion next year. But what next after 5 trillion? Every year or two, India is going to add 1 trillion. Look at that. From 47 to 2007, we took 60 years, but now every year or 2 or 3, India is going to add 1 trillion, and India need not to wait to become a Viksit Bharat 2047, but 2040, India will rule the world as a super economy. And therefore, because always if you see the history, because history repeats, I am a civil engineer, while designing a dam, we take a 33-year data because history repeats. 33-year rainfall data, how much capacity dam can have, so that history repeats. Here also, if you look at Japan, if you look at Korea, look at Singapore and China, now it is a time of ours. And after 2060, African continent is going to be the leader of the world. So therefore, this century ours, and whatever whether it is a trade policy of America, whether it is Israel, whether it is Ukraine, whether it is a Russia war, whether it is a China threat, whether neighboring countries like Bangladesh and Pakistan creating problem, all those are the small issues. But entire world is looking for India for big issue, and India is not only going to lead as a leader itself, but it is also going to lead the world. So therefore, future is very bright for all of us. And now, when the future is bright, the entire world is looking towards India, and India is creating a history. I think education institution like ours, we have to be a part of it. Already $10,000 billion have been reserved for manufacturing, and already 2 semiconductor industry in Gujarat, 1 Assam has come, and many more on pipeline. And digital transformation, India is now #1 country. And if you see the UPI data, December, so many lakhs, so many crores of lakhs of transaction, and so many crores of rupees transaction basically set a benchmark in the world. And digital transformation means entire world looking towards India. And this was never happened in the history of India, because we were never known as a producer of the technology. We were known as a consumer of the technology. Till now, we only thought about Satya Nadella is our man, Sundar Pichai is our Indian, but they are all citizens of America and they are working for America. And we think they are ours, but they never think. During COVID, Tata paid 1,500 crore to government of India, but these companies not paid a single pay. So this speaks a lot about Indians working for India, they are in India. And Indians working for America, they are in America. And those who are in America, now they are talking about, I want to give back to my country. Those statements are coming, those who are working in America, because for them, there is a survival problem because of the Trump. So they have to come back. So it is not they want to serve India, but their survival, again, they are looking, my motherland is India, they are looking, and now we should welcome, no problem. When China was leader, all Chinese, those who are in America, they were welcomed by government of China. We should also welcome them. After all, they are ours. And they also build brand India in America. And they also contributed, even though they were living. But now time has come, they have to leave that land which they used to consider want to settle there forever, but now they know that we can't stay. So it is a very interesting if you see the geopolitics, entire country, if you see a global restructuring is happening. And whatever I am all telling, these are all the items I think you should think of writing a cases. How great country like India is going to give a lessons to the world. Indian management should go rest of the world. In NEP 2020, we have put IKS as a bedrock of national education policy. Foundation for national education policy is IKS, Indian Knowledge System. Culture and business always go together. Culture and business always goes together. Therefore, India, and even if you see Americans, those who are in America, Indians, those who are in America, they are all the leaders. They have taken over American, Chinese, and other country people. Maximum billionaires in America are Indians. All the top universities are headed by Indians. Right? Look at Srikant Datta, look at Ramaswamy in MIT. Two months back from Chennai, person has taken MIT. So, and many schools all headed by Indians, and toppers are Indians. So, billionaires are Indians. Top 25 companies are headed by Indians, rank wise, top 25. So, it clearly speaks why Indians are doing well in America. When Indians leave India, go to America, they will be more cultural conscious, tradition conscious. They follow the culture, they follow the tradition. And therefore, it is important that in India, we take it granted. Even our festival, Diwali comes, no, I have to go to important business meeting. I am traveling to Indonesia. I think it doesn't make a sense. But if you look at Marwadi companies in India, every year they go to Rajasthan, their native place, they perform rituals, and whatever the business, whatever the festival, they will leave the money, but they look at the culture. Culture, tradition, connecting with the root is important, and that is where Indians in America, they are successful because they become minor when they go to America and they remember the God, they remember our rituals, traditions, culture, and that is how they are doing well. Now it is time for us to, follow the tradition, live with the tradition, culture, Indian ethos, and tradition with technology is the only way going forward. So tradition with technology is the only way going forward. Probably outside this auditorium, a lady working on laptop, sitting on sari, that speaks about tradition with technology. So how to live with tradition and technology and future belongs to that, and how to write the cases including cultures. I was in Bali last month. So Bali is a culture capital in that part of the Asia. And just yesterday I came from Vienna, is called as a culture capital of Europe. But if you look at all those places, they replicate or they indicate the culture of that particular place. And today, the connecting with culture is important. Connecting with root is important. If you cut the root of the tree from the bottom, tree is going to dry. And in business, I am 7-time elected representative in All India Management Association from corporate and academia. And we do one session every year: first generation build, second maintain, and third destroy. And there are many examples, you can look into that. And Tata's 7th generation going strong because they connected with the Indian ethos, traditions, and Tata started his first startup from Nagpur, Impress Mill, textile mill. Jamshedji started from Nagpur. The real origin of manufacturing or tradition of the manufacturing started from here by Tata. In those days, British Raj was there, and they are going 7 generations strong. Look at Godrej, look at many companies, but you also look at Usha fan, first generation built, second generation disappeared. So therefore, because if you look at why those who are not doing well, they disconnected with the root. And root is nothing but tradition and culture. So therefore, now time has come, we all business school professors, scholars, we have to connect with the roots. And roots are, for India, roots are in villages. We all may be settling in Mumbai, Pune, all the big cities, Delhi, but our roots are somewhere else, not in Delhi, not in Mumbai, not in Nagpur. So you have to connect with the roots. And in this highly connected world, we are connected through LinkedIn, WhatsApp, all over the world, whom you never met, you are always sending messages, LinkedIn, all those things. But we disconnected with tradition, disconnected with our culture, disconnected with our ethos, and disconnect with their families. So therefore, now the time has come, we have to connect with the roots, and how to bring that component in cases and that component in business school. I think you all have to think. Whatever the subject you teach, operation, marketing, finance, strategy, but culture is a part of it. Culture makes the difference. Therefore, culture is extremely important. I'll tell one story before closing. One of the Japanese company got a contract from IBM supplying of so many lakhs of chips. It was many, many decades back. When that company got the first order from America, because America was historically a leader of the world. So they were so happy we got the contract from Japan, and Japanese, everything they do in Japanese language, they received a letter from English, and it was written that you have been given a contract of so many lakhs of chips you have to supply at the condition of EQL, at the acceptable quality level of 5 defects per 1,000 chips supplied. That was the statement. It is a standard statement normally, But Japanese are known for quality because it was super economy, 1980s, 95 super economy. And they got confused why they are asking 5 defects per 1,000 chips supplied. They got confused. And then the CEO called his second in command and he showed what is, can you explain me? Because they were poor in English, and that fellow also understood the same way. Then he said one professor of English who retired working in America, retired and settled in Tokyo, let us go and meet professor. They went to professor with that letter to seek the clarification, because it is the first of its kind order, big order, and they are getting first time dollar money to Japan. When went to English professor, he said, you have been given award. He broken all the center, entire thing into three parts. He said, you have been given order, of so many chips you have to supply. They said it is, we understood that. So many lakhs of chips you have to supply. Second, he said, you have to also per 1,000 chips, you have to put in one packet. English teacher, they also add, their own way. In a separate pack, you have to put 1,000 chips. And along with the 1,000 chips, 5 defective chips you have to attach in another small packet. So he gave his explanation. They also thought probably it may be their requirement. They went back because English professor who was in many years in America, they went back and within no time they produced so many lakhs of chips. And after completion of so many lakhs of orders, because Japanese, anything happening there, small thing happens, they celebrate as if it is big. CEO called all the employees for celebration of producing so much of chips in a record time, benchmark time. And he thrown a party, everybody enjoyed the party. And after the end of the party, CEO told friends, now the time has come. You have to produce so many hundreds of defective chips, because we have to attach per 1,000 good chips, we have to attach 5 defective chips. And Japan, the hierarchy is very less, 4 level. But in India, if you see in public sector, level 1 to E13 means CMD is 13th level and a person entering is the first level. But there only 4 level, all employees suddenly shouted at the CEO, how can you say no company in the world will tell their employee to produce a defective items? How can you say, they started shouting at him. Finally, he shown the letter and he called the English professor, said, this is what the requirement if you want to, supply the items. And they all went back. And with great difficulty, they should be able to make a small defect, and they produced those items, and they packed separately 1,000 and 5 along with each. So many, packets of 1,000 plus 5. and they submitted, and the CEO writes at the end a covering letter. As per your so and so order, we are supplying so many lakhs of chips in a packets as you desired, 1,000 plus 5 defective. But still, we don't know why do we need those 5 defective items in each lot of 1,000. That was his covering letter. So he wrote that because Japanese, they were not living in the culture of defective environment. Japan means do it right the first time. Japan means quality. Quality means Japan. So they never ever living in the defective environment. Probably if that order would have been given to us, we would not have shown to anybody, we would have understood. Maximum 5 defect in 1,000, we would have understood. But those people failed to understand because they were in different culture. So now the time has come, India need to create such culture. We need to such culture. Excellence is the only way, not less than excellence. Excellence is the only way, and how to get into excellence, no mediocre. I think this is the time we have to get into that. And I'm sure this case conference happening second edition with the great enthusiasm, participation, all our partner institutions and participation coming from all over the country. And I'm sure the workshop was the great workshop, and Professor Rakesh has called all the luminaries. And these 2 days deliberation discussions, I'm sure you are going to discuss something different, something unique, because benchmark is the only way, because now it is our time. We have to set a benchmark. Unless until you set a benchmark, you are not going to create a history. And to create a history, we have to set a benchmark. I, being a scholar of benchmark from IIT Bombay, I always see if we don't create a benchmark, then we are failing our duty in our respective positions. I think now it is everybody's time how to set a benchmark, how to move ourselves to the next orbit so that we can create a history. With this, I wish a grand success of this 2 days conference on case research, and very interesting topic, that is advancing business transformation to case research. I wish a grand success and I welcome once again. But today we are lucky to have K.S. Chima Saab. He is my good friend, and we have since my joining to IIM Nagpur, he is my good friend, and he is the one person, I think he himself is a great case. Starting from humble beginning where he was not having a money to study to the college, and he struggled from there. He worked in Dubai and made some money and came to India, and he set a business. He has now many businesses. And he is now sitting on tons of money. And that is where he is the first person to think of. When I was a student, the kind of struggle I made, and that is why he said a student coming from rural background and less than 8 lakh, we have put some criteria. He told us to prepare, but I want to support who really needs money. And that is the person. Today he is our chief guest, and he has many, and his example, probably he will share. He is the best example. All companies, the runs as usual, but his company is something different. If company makes money, that money will be shared right from peon to the CEO. And in his family, his son is heading the company, and he also has to apply a leave, and he has to go to right time. If it is half an hour delay, that is to be recorded in what you call biometric. So he has set up different, there is no separate treatment for the owner, for the promoter, for the employee. They are all one. We all as a one family, I think a unique system. Wherever, every time I go, some of the celebrations and some of the events, I think I learn a lot from him. And today we are lucky to have Chima Saab, and he is also, I think, many plan for India to create a history. He himself has many plan, and he is going to announce very soon. Probably we also come to know through media and all. And he has many plans, and also education sector. He's very keen to also work in the education sector. He is already in mining and in auto sector, various areas. He has verticals, but and he himself is a great example, role model, and inspiration for all of us. From where we start, it is not in our hand. From here to where to go, from here, where to go is it is in our hand. I think that is the best example. Chima Saab is there. Sir, thank you very much for accepting invitation with a short notice. And I once again welcome all of you, welcome Chima Saab for this case conference. And thank you very much. Namaskar.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words of wisdom and mantras of India to the world.
Yeah, one quick announcement. I think keeping the time in mind, we will start the next track at 12:15 so the participants can stay back. So we will be starting the track 12:15. That's the time. Thank you.
Now I would like to introduce Mr. K.S. Chima, founder and chairman of K.S. Chima Group of Companies. Mr. Chima has been a successful independent lawyer, in-house legal counsel, director of business and projects development, and a board member of various MNCs. He also achieved notable success with the establishment of many international joint ventures before he founded the K.S. Chima Group of Companies. In the year 2012, Mr. Chima started his entrepreneurial journey by entering the real estate industry. And from there on, the corporate group ventured into the automobile and mining sector, led by his strong vision of being an ethical, futuristic, and customer friendly organization. Backed by decades of experience in business and unfettered visionary spirit, Mr. Chima's hard work and persistence have enabled KS Chima Group of Companies to secure a successful future for countless individuals across the country. Sir, I kindly request you to address the gathering.
Thank you. Good morning. Now, normally, I'm not as nervous as you find me today. But one call today morning set me rethinking. I was talking to one of my friend, Mr. Rajiv Agarwal, and he says, I'm going to be there. So I said, then I have to change my presentation because I can't lie. He has been witness to my story for last 25 years. And I'm not joking, this is serious. I have to rewrite my whole speech. So Dr. Maitri sir, academicians, brilliant researchers, dear students, and distinguished participants joining from across the world. Once again, a very good morning. Let me begin with a simple yet very, very strong statement. Knowledge alone does not create a change. Knowledge applied at right time creates the change. History does not remember the people who are most knowledgeable. History only remembers the people who applied their knowledge at right time with conviction and integrity. This is precisely why conferences like this are very, very important. This conference is not merely about presenting research papers or earning academic recognitions. It's about developing judgment, strengthening decision-making, and preparing leaders who will influence industries, institutions, and societies. If there's a one message I wish to leave with you today, learning from my own personal and professional journey, it is leadership is tested not when everything's clear. Leadership is tested when decisions must be taken amidst chaos, uncertainty. We live in a world of rapid disruption. Technology, revolutions, artificial intelligence, sustainability challenges, global economic shift, and geopolitical transformations. All these forces are constantly redefining leadership. Peter Drucker, whom we consider a management guru, once said, the greatest danger in times of turbulence is not the turbulence. It is to act with yesterday's logic with yesterday's mindset. So people like you, when you do research, when you study people, you come out with a current analytic out findings. So every problem requires a different approach, and it requires a current analysis approach. And that's why case-based learning is so powerful. Case studies bring theory into reality. They allow us to analyze complex situations where answers are not available in textbooks. They develop judgment, which is most critical leadership skill. Allow me to illustrate this through few real leadership cases from my own personal experiences. And I'll give you 3 case studies on that. And I think, Rajiv, you are witness to all of those. The first case study is courage to challenge system. In 2004, I used to work in Muscat for an multinational organization called Omar Jawabi Establishment. And we were developing a 2 million ton methanol plant in joint venture with Aman Oil Company, which is 100% controlled by government or owned by government. The most critical resource, which is natural gas, was already allocated. But still, the project was not making progress. The decisions were delayed. The discussions were not fruitful. And then I realized it's not the resources which make the big project. It is a capability to take quick decisions considering all consequences. So I realized this way we will not go anywhere. I made a very unconventional recommendation to my chairman. I said, let's split the natural gas allocation into 2 parts. Let government do one project with their share, and let's do one project with our share. It required a lot of policy changes. It required a lot of reorganizing. It required a lot of organizational resistance. But finally, leaders are not to do ordinary things. They have to challenge the system. Finally, my proposal was accepted. The gas allocation was split. So we set up a 1 million ton methanol plant, and our co-partner was asked to set up another 1 million project. We did our project within 36 months, below $750 million, and we came on stream precisely in 2007 when historically methanol prices were all-time high. So what did it give us? It gave us the highest price realization. So we could repay our equity, award handsome dividends, and repay majority of our debts within first 3 years. And it also gave us a monopoly. Our other co-partner or a company took 6 years plus to do that project. They spent more than double of the cost what we spent. And by the time they came on stream, the methanol prices had crashed to the lowest ever. So what does this indicate? What does it say? It does not say that I had extraordinary courage to challenge the system. It only says that rearrange your management, your thinking if things are not working right. Do not follow the traditional set system, challenge the system. And that's what leaders are supposed to do. My second lesson is about emotional turbulence. Most of the leaderships have to go through. Leadership is not always about professional success. Sometimes leadership demands deeply personal sacrifices. In 2004, I was working on a multi-billion international business project out of London. And precisely on 31st July, I got a most saddening news that my mother has passed away in India in a remote village, which is around 5 hours drive from Delhi. Obviously, I was devastated. I wanted to be with the family. I wanted to attend the funeral, but logistically it was not possible. So what is the next best I could do? I went ahead, concluded that agreement, and we signed that day $2.4 billion project. I had to decide whether to step away emotionally or fulfill responsibility that impacted thousands of people. It was one of the most painful decisions of my life and one that remains emotionally difficult even today. But leadership sometimes presents choices not between right and wrong, but between two deeply painful responsibilities. The lesson here is not about my sacrifice. It is about recognizing that leadership carries emotional weight, and maturity lies in carrying that burden with dignity and integrity. The third case study is conviction against opposition. At another stage of my career, sometimes in 2006, about 6 months before we commissioned our methanol project, I proposed that we should buy 3 methanol carriers, ships, to transport the methanol produced by our own plant to different destinations in the world. Our chairman summoned supervisory board. The papers were circulated. The entire board opposed the idea. Their resistance came from their past experience, industry perceptions, and fear to be linked to a risk. During the board meeting, I was nervous. I says I would be looking like a fool that if my proposal is turned on. So I made a respectful but very direct observation. I said that many members had not reviewed the proposal in detail and were responding based on past assumptions rather than current analysis. Not an easy job. I explained clearly, we would own the asset, cargo would be assured because we are the customer, maintenance was secured by giving a maintenance contract to one of the world-renowned ship maintenance company, finance and insurance structures were in place. I then asked a simple question. If the asset is secured, the business is granted, the costs are controlled, and the funding is arranged, where exactly is the risk? It was a bold position. It carried a real risk of me losing my job. But leadership sometimes requires standing when your analyses are strong and when your conviction is clear. The chairman finally supported the proposal, and it has become one of the most successful business of that group till date. Why did I share these experiences? Because they represent exactly what case-based studies or learnings teach us. Analytical thinking, courage in decision-making, accountability of outcome, and learning from successes and failures. Today's world is often described as a VUCA word: volatile, uncertain, complex, ambiguous. In such a world, leadership requires adaptability, emotional intelligence, ethical clarity, and collaborative thinking. The COVID-19 pandemic became one of the largest global leadership case studies in collaborative thinking. It demonstrated how government, scientists, health professionals, and industries must collaborate during crisis. India's rapid vaccine development and distribution highlighted the power of coordination between government, leadership, and the science. Research must not remain confined to academic journals. Research must influence policy, industry, government, and societies. The disruptive innovation emerges from deep understanding of real-world problems, not theoretical assumptions. Conference like this create vital platform where academia and industry interact, ensures knowledge remain practical and relevant. To the young scholars and students present here today, I would like to say, leadership is never defined by decision or authority. Leadership is defined by curiosity to learn, courage to question, commitment to integrity, and a willingness to take responsibility. The case you study today may become strategies you design tomorrow. I sincerely congratulate Dr. Maitri ji. I am Nagpur, the organizing committee, academic calibration, industry partners, sponsors, and volunteers for creating such a globally relevant platform. Organizing an international conference of this size requires vision, dedication, and teamwork. Sir, your efforts will influence countless learners and researchers. As we inaugurate this conference, let's envision a future where we build strong research ecosystem, strengthen academia-industry collaborations, develop global case repositories, encourage interdisciplinary innovations, promote ethical and responsible leadership. Our former president, Dr. Abdul Kalam, once said, "Dream is not what you see while you are sleeping. Dream is something that does not let you sleep." Let this conference ignite those kind of dreams in you. The future belongs to leaders who collaborate rather than compete, who share knowledge rather than guard, who move responsibly and who lead with integrity. With immense pride and optimism, it gives me immense pleasure to formally inaugurate the second International Case and Research Conference 2026. I wish this conference meaningful discussions, powerful insight, and respectful outcomes. Let knowledge guide us. Let research inspire us, and let leadership define us. Friends, this conference will end. Papers will be published, and these applauses will fade in some time. But long after this hall empties, one question will remain with all of you. Will your research be remembered as something that was read, or something that changed the way word works? I leave you with this thought. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your insights and valuable words of wisdom. I am sure all the participants will definitely benefit from your inspirational personal and professional journey. Now I kindly request Professor Bhimra Maitri, sir, to present our chief guest with a token of gratitude for joining us on this wonderful occasion. Sir, I request you to present a memento to Mr. K.S. Chima, sir. Thank you, sir. We are also delighted to present a tree plantation certificates as a token of our gratitude. Trees have been planted on behalf of our esteemed guest at the Trees for Tiger initiative in Simlipal National Park, Odisha. Thank you, sir.
Now it is my honor to introduce Professor Yatish Joshi, conference co-chair and professor in marketing area at IIM Nagpur. Dr. Yatish has completed his PhD at IIT Roorkee. He has worked at SDFC Bank Limited, NIT Allahabad, Flame University, Pune. He has secured and worked on externally funded projects and consultancies for various funding agencies and private organizations, including the SPARC, Ministry of Education, Uttar Pradesh Council of Science and Technology, Ministry of Food Processing, Enhance Safe India. He has also served as a resource person for numerous training programs and capacity development programs sponsored by AICTE and UGC, including those at institutes of national importance and government training institutes. He is also the recipient of the Emerald Literary Network Award for Excellence 2017. Now, I would like to request Professor Yatish Joshi to kindly proceed with the vote of thanks.
Good morning, everyone. As we conclude the inaugural session, it's my honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks. First of all, I would like to convey our sincere gratitude to Dr. Bhima Raya Maitri, Director IIM Nagpur, for his visionary leadership and unwavering support. He is instrumental in strengthening the institute research and case-based learning ecosystem. His encouragement has been a key reason behind this ideation and organization of this conference. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your support. We also extend our deep appreciation to our chief guest, Sri K.S. Chima, sir, Chairman and Managing Director of the K.S. Chima Group of Companies, for accepting our invitation and gracing the occasion. Sir, your perspective on leadership, innovation, and research-based analytical decision-making have set a strong and meaningful tone for the conference ahead. We place on record our special thanks to our conference co-chairs, Professor Rakesh Gupta and Professor Prashant Gupta, whose strategic direction and meticulous planning have played a key role in shaping and executing the conference. Thank you so much, both co-chairs, Professor Rakesh and Professor Prashant. It's also a privilege to thank all my faculty colleagues sitting here who has contributed immensely as a reviewer, as a track chair for this conference. A special vote of thanks to our sponsors, Springer and Service Setu Academics, for their generous support in organizing this conference. A warm thank to all our distinguished guests, faculty and staff members, media representatives, and students for being part of this significant movement. And most importantly, we extend our appreciation to all researchers, authors, and delegates who have come from various institutions and industries for choosing this platform to present and exchange ideas. Your participation is the true strength of this conference. Thank you so much. We acknowledge the dedicated efforts of the IT team, academics office, communication office, estate team, support staff, executive education, and the server team for their seamless execution of today's inaugural event. Finally, we thank everyone present here today for your time and engagement. We are confident that the session ahead will be intellectually stimulating and lead to meaningful discussions, collaborations, and impactful research outcomes. With these words, I once again extend my sincere thanks to all and wish you a highly successful and enriching conference. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable words for all.
Yeah, as we close our inauguration, just quick few announcements. Immediately after this, we are proceeding for a group photograph outside. The participants who have their respective tracks can proceed towards the tracks, and we have refreshments lined up outside. Thank you. Thank you once again for all being here. Thank you, sir. Ram?